Bye. I'm down. I can't see. Need to go.
Welcome everyone to the social van. Feeling Kyle sick of the bullshit. So here they are, reppin' C+, ready to turn every podcast to dust. So sit down and shut the fuck up, cause when in doubt, fuck your couch. Welcome everybody to the social vent. Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is KNB, the Sexy Ninja. For the Social Vent Podcast, we have a special guest. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Christiana. Just
You're so
fucking
awkward.
Random girl off the street.
I was going to say, yeah, just pick her up off the corner, but that sounds terrible.
No, I was literally standing on the corner there, and I'm like, I'm wearing a crop top. I look like a prostitute.
In front of Bookman's.
That's why I was like, please find me, because somebody's gonna pull up and ask me how much.
Well, with the way today's going, they'll be like, oh no, look at that. Native guy got a prostitute in his car, you know.
Yep.
How have you been?
Good.
Yeah, we've worked together at Einstein Bagels,
Yes.
and she did not know my name
For months.
Yeah.
Literally months.
What was I? What'd you call me? Guy or cool guy?
I just never used your name
Yeah.
for any reason. And then one of our coworkers, like, it was really busy, and there were only two people at the front, and Kyle usually works in the back. And so one of my coworkers was like, "Hey, tell Kyle to get out here." And I was like, "Who the fuck is Kyle?"
This is when I was baking, right? Before they sent me off to G's Deli.
Yeah.
And then they took away G's Deli from me.
And then they sent you back to Einstein.
Because I got my big promotion. They're like, "Here's a promotion for this unit. Oh, by the way, fucking unit's gone because of COVID-19.
That was fun.
Yeah. So, how's your break been? How's you dealing with all this COVID-19, now racism and all these protests and all this shit?
Okay, with COVID, I don't leave my house, so I'm chilling with that. That's fine. The racism and protests, again, I don't leave my house. However, I am like on Facebook scrolling to see which of my relatives are being racist right now, and I'm like, unfollow, unfriend.
Well, with how old you are, looking at today, because you are probably the youngest person we've ever had on this podcast.
Yes, I'm 20.
To how old you are right now, looking at how racism is still alive and well.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel about it from your perspective, from your age group?
Okay, honestly, just genuinely sad. Like, when I was little, they teach you about early racism and slavery, and they kind of make it sound like, oh, this is something that happened, but we're past that now. And then I got to high school, and I saw, like, okay, so some people are still racist, but they're just, like, stupid and ignorant, and nobody cares about them. And now, like, all of this is happening, and I went to college, and I know that, like, all this stuff about how it's, like, institutional, and it's, like, built into the fucking country, and it's disheartening, for sure.
Yeah, I've had a couple racist incidents happen in AU. One, it's just so funny. It's 2020. We should be past this bullshit already.
Yeah.
But I was working, the pizza place in the hotspot.
Yeah.
So I was. It was during the last summer, and it was this all Christian group, whatever. But we were feeding them, and all of a sudden, I'm like I'm rushing to get pizza out because it's like thousands of kids.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I just hear this: the three little white kids. They looked at me like, "Hurry up, boy!" And I'm like, "The fuck!" And
Oh my god, that's brave.
and I was like, I turned around and they giggled and they fucking took off, and I'm like, "You motherfucker!" Like,
Yeah.
And another incident was I was walking. Okay, so you know how Wells Fargo is right over here. Like, I don't know why I'm pointing with the podcast, but
Yeah.
I was crossing the street and some dude like rolled by me and says, "Hey, Chief!"
Oh my god.
And I was like, "The fuck, for real?"
I can't, yeah, no. It's interesting how many people are racist so close to the reservation, because you would think they would learn to, like, keep their fucking mouths shut.
No.
But they don't.
My favorite racism incident, and I've noticed it because it happens to me, and I laugh it off.
Yeah.
When I had my other job at Chevron before I lost it, this one old lady was trying to throw trash into our dumpster. And so I told her, I was like, hey, you can't do that. You can't publicly put trash in here. And she goes, what did she tell me? She goes, go back to your reservation, you dumb Indian, or something like that. And I'm like, Indian? And I'm like, and I laughed so hard, and she got so fucking mad because I was just like, what the fuck? The 1800s called. They want their fucking insult back, calling me an Indian. Like,
Yeah. I love when we get together and we just like cross racism experiences.
Yeah.
Like jokingly, like we were at work and you were like, oh, how do you not know my name? And I was like, oh, I'm really bad with faces. And you're like, oh, you think all brown people look the same? And I'm like, dude, I'm brown.
The best. I love doing that. You know, I know it's not so funny now, the circumstances that are going on, but when you make someone feel fucking awkward, because you're like, oh, what, we're all the same, huh? Think we all got fucking headdresses and teepees and shit like that? And when I put people on the spot like that, I mean it in a joking way, but then, like, there's some people that are like, they'll fucking start apologizing for stuff that they've never done to me or whatever.
Or some people get, like, super defensive, like, weirdly defensive, and I'm like, I was joking. You're, like, actually racist.
Because you've probably done it to people, right?
Oh, yeah. We've both experienced racism. My favorite racism is a lot of times people tell me, like, oh, you're really pretty for a black girl. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean, Karen?
Karen. There's a lot of Karens out there. Yeah, and you know the best ones though I like is like I'm Navajo 100%.
Yeah.
But a lot of people tell me I don't look Navajo. So, and I don't know what that means. But,
I don't either.
but I get mistaken as Asian, Hawaiian, and Mexican.
Yeah.
And like one time I had this one dude. This dude is awesome, so I'm not putting him on the spot. This dude was just one regular that came through. Like one day I'm like outside doing the trash at the gas station, and he goes, brother. He goes, what's your favorite barbecue? I was like, it just depends, man. You know, blah blah. He goes, well, just tell me, brother, what island you from? And he's a big white dude, and that's just the way he talked. And I was just like, island. I was like, what the fuck you mean? He goes, well, yeah, the islands, brother. Like, where are you from? And I'm like, I'm from Shiprock, New Mexico. Like, I'm from the reservation, homie. And he goes, holy fucking shit, you're fucking Navajo? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, God damn, here, I thought you were from Hawaii. You know,
My dad had a similar experience. My stepdad, he's Mexican, and he took my mom to Hawaii when they first got married, and everybody thought he was Hawaiian, which is super cool because he said they like gave him tips and like go here, don't go there. But yeah, he also met somebody in Hawaii that he knew from Arizona, which I think is kind of crazy.
Yeah. So what is your national, like?
Me, my father is black man, and then my mother is white as snow. So
White as snow.
I tend to look ambiguous. I don't really look like any one thing or the other.
No, because, you know, and I'm not saying this in a judgy way, but looking by you, like, I wouldn't have known, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But someone who would say, oh, well, you're pretty for a black girl, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. Or, like, a lot of people would be like, ask me my nationality, and I tell them, and they go, not a lot of black people in my hometown. And I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? Is that a threat?
Well, so that's crazy. So growing up, you basically coming from two worlds.
Yeah, well, three, actually, because I was raised by a white woman and a Mexican man.
Okay.
And then never really knew my father, who's black. And then he's like, but like I am black, but I've never been a part of the culture. So it's definitely interesting to see it from an insider and an outsider perspective.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. It's really confusing, honestly.
That is confusing. You know, for me, I grew up on the res. I didn't move out here until before I turned 18. And being out there, I tried so hard to be an outsider, even though I was in the res.
Yeah.
Like, I watched a lot of movies. I read a lot of comic books. You know, I always kept myself on the outside, kept myself educated to a certain extent, because when you go out to the res, it's kind of like, I always tell people, like a third world country, especially in a lot of different areas that don't have water, they don't have electricity, and this and that. So when I came out here, like, for me, who comes from a town that's mainly, only thing you can do there is eat.
Yeah.
So there's like a big, like, there's the grocery store, then there's like all the fast food chains, and that's about it on one side. outside of town. Then on Saturdays, the way we get shit popping is a flea market, and that was our mall. So and then the closest thing to us was about 30 miles away. There was this town called Farmington, and they that was the closest thing we had, like, you know, to the outside, because where I lived was on the outskirts of the reservation. So right there, like right when you go, and it's funny too, is like right when you pass that you are leaving the reservation, it is green as fuck.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I don't know what the fuck that is. I was driving through the reservation. I didn't stay. But I was driving through the reservation, and it was like a whole other fucking country. Like you were saying, it was like a third world country. And the saddest part is all the billboards are like, please don't do heroin and kill yourself if you have children. I was like, what the fuck, man? What is going on out here? Literally all the billboards. But in Utah, the billboards are like, please don't molest your children. So,
yeah, well,
you know.
And it's just so crazy, and with all of this going on, and we got a president who is dumb as fuck and barricading himself in the White House right now.
Insanity.
At least he forgot his wall.
Yeah.
Several walls in front of the fucking White House.
Yeah.
You know, we don't like to be political, but it's just everything going on. It's just hard. You know, like you said on Facebook, I hate turning on Facebook now because I'm just seeing everybody. And I'm all for people having free speech. You can say what you want. But when stuff like this happens, then you just get this rush and wave of people that are like, all right, people want to ask me about this situation. They want to know what I think about it. Well, and they're usually sitting in their car. And I'm like, I didn't ask for you.
Nobody asked you.
Yeah. And you got a lot of white people out there trying real hard to, you know, because they're saying that a lot of these protests, there is a lot more white people there, you know, and I believe too, and I feel bad, it's like, not all white people are bad, but every incident like this that happens, it's just like they get thrown back even farther. Like, they kind of make it, they're like, we're not racist, then this happens, fuck!
Yeah, I think for, like, a lot of people say, like, oh, I'm not political, I don't want to be political, and I think for me, there's an extent, like, I can't fight every battle, you know, it's just exhausting. But there is a point for me where it's like, certain things shouldn't be a political statement, you know, like, it shouldn't be politics to say don't be racist. It should just be a given, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there are certain things where, like, my family will post, and, like, even some Trump supporters, I'm like, whatever, you know. But there are other things where I'm like, there's a line, you know, like, you can't come on here and talk about, like, be racist, you can't come on here and be homophobic, like, I'm just not gonna fuck with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the problem with today is, you know, I have a lot of friends, you know, I have a lot of friends that say they follow Trump.
Yeah.
On Facebook, though. So, I don't know, would they be my friends, though? You know what I mean? Like, friends on Facebook is so weird, because you're like, I have a lot of friends on Facebook, and I'm like, I only know a very few handful I've met in person.
Exactly,
so.
yeah.
But friends on Facebook, I see they follow Trump, and this and that, and then do their political rants, and blah, blah, blah. Then I got the other side that's very extreme. Very like, oh, well, fuck Trump, and they get so amped up about it, and I'm just like, there's no middle ground anymore. There's no, like, we should be, like, okay, hey, you know, let me hear you out. Let's hear what you guys say.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like so many people are, like, want to just be reasonable, and, like, there's logical arguments on both sides of the political spectrum, but it becomes so polarizing. And I think that's on purpose, where people try to make it like you're either on one side or you're on the other. You're one extreme or you're the other. And I'm like, can we just fucking not with that for, like, 10 seconds? Can we all just sit down and be like, okay, these things we all agree fucking suck. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And, you know, for me and for us, you know, we're trying to build this business and whatnot into something more than what it is right now. And it's slowly progressing into something, and it's fucking dope. But, I get a lot of anti-Trump little memes, and they're funny as fuck. Like, like, my favorite one is, like, they called him a bunker bitch because he went into the bunker during, like, one of the first protests, and they hashtag bunker bitch. And I thought it was hilarious, and I was gonna share it on our page. Yeah. You know, because it goes to Instagram, Twitter, and whatnot. And I was like, do I really want to play this game? And, you know, do I really want to like put more hate out into the world? Do I
Yeah.
want to, you know, because I try really hard to make sure we entertain people, we keep shit funny, you know. Yes, we do get a little crazy sometimes, but I don't want to put such negativity into the world because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of opening my Facebook or Instagram and all of a sudden it's just all this shit just coming at you at once, and I'm like, can we talk about, you know, can somebody share a picture of a cat? Like,
yeah, yeah. And that's not to say either that, like, you don't care, you're not paying attention. It's just that, like, I don't think any one person should just sit there and that's all that they think about all the time. Because honestly, it's stressing me out, and I only have social media. Like, I restrict my access to, like, an hour or two a day, and it's stressing me out, and I just can't fucking deal with it.
And with social media, I have to be on it constantly. And you know, and I say that just because I'm trying to build.
Yeah, you're trying to build a business. You're trying to build a presence.
And it's so hard and like so like stressful on me, and so stressful on my brain. I'm just like, okay, you know, you gotta make, you know, make somebody laugh today. You know, this and that, and I want to be positive. And it's not that, like you said, it's not that I don't care. I do care. Racism should stop. So just fucking stop. Like, it's 20
ISIS,
goddamn
just stop.
20.
Just fucking stop, ISIS.
STOP. Just stop. There's no need for it, you know, especially in 2020.
What I don't understand is, like, why is this even a thing? Like, aren't you embarrassed to be racist? Like, do you realize how fucking stupid you look?
Yeah, and oh my goodness, the stupidity of people. And there's this thing that made me just sick to my stomach. It's only white kids doing it. The George Floyd challenge.
And God.
Yeah, and they're doing the kneeling on someone's neck and whatnot. And I'm just like, what prompts you to be so fucking stupid to be like, I have to take this picture and put it on social media, and all of a sudden you get attacked, and you go like, why are you attacking me? Because you're a fucking moron.
Like, you're so stupid. I love seeing those where, like, kids do stupid, like, racist shit, and then, like, they get their scholarships taken away, or they get kicked out of school or whatever, and they're like, I'm so sorry, I should have known my actions were wrong. I'm like, you knew.
Yeah.
You knew.
And
you're so fucking stupid.
And you put it on a platform called social media to where everybody has access to it.
Everyone can see it. Like, why would you be that dumb? If you're gonna be racist, why would you be that fucking stupid?
And to celebrities who just need to stop.
I'm so tired of celebrities.
Celebrities who need to just stop, and like, because they say one thing and it blows up into this completely. I'm like, you know, just don't. Just
shut up.
Go. Just put your money into more of the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Just do that. Just don't say anything on social media, because once you say something, it's gonna be blown up, taken out of proportion. Because you don't follow football, right?
Somewhat. I don't follow football, but the Colin Kaepernick thing.
Yeah. So Drew Brees of the Saints, the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, yeah.
You saw
that?
Yeah,
I saw that.
Made a comment, and all of a sudden, boom, he has to go back and apologize and whatnot. And now everyone's speaking. I'm just like,
why'd you open your mouth?
Yeah, why? Like,
just shut the fuck up.
You know, and for me, when I go on and I want to comment on something, I always have the strength to be like, you know what? I'm going to let it go. I ain't going to say nothing. Why? Because all of a sudden I'm going to get people doing this and this and this and this, and I'm going to see a lot of grammar stuff, and I have to call the grammar police, and I'm just going to be like, you know what? I'll just leave it there.
Oh, yeah. I used to be, like, back in high school, I used to be really big in getting into, like, Facebook fights with people.
I used to be, too. I was and it got to the point to where I started trolling.
Yeah.
And you know, and I was just like, I want to push the button on this. And I would say though, my extent of getting in a Facebook argument is over nerd shit, because I got in constant Facebook fights over nerd shit, because I have this mindset of, well, I don't anymore because I finally just washed it out.
Yeah.
I've always been into comic books.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a big nerd that way, like Star Wars and this and that, like all these things that define who I am. I got picked on. a lot as a kid for it. You know, I was told I was gay because I liked guys in tights. You know, I was called all these really bad things, and now it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And you can't even go anywhere without seeing somebody wear some form of superhero shirt or a Star Wars shirt or whatnot. So I remember just getting in arguments over that shit. Then I'm just like, you know what? Why is it affecting me? I can still go read my comic books, stay inside my own fucking world, and this and that. And now I'm taking this channel of ours, and I'm spreading the nerd love. I'm like, okay, this is why I love this. Okay, this is the reason why.
I love that. My boyfriend is such a gatekeeper, and it pisses me off. One time he asked me, I was gonna buy a Nirvana t-shirt. He's like, do you even listen to Nirvana? I'm like, do I listen to one of the most popular bands in the entire world? Yes. Who the fuck doesn't? You know what I mean? And it's kind of frustrating because I feel like as a kid, I wasn't into anything. Like, my parents didn't show me any of the good shit. I only started watching everything that's referenced in pop culture when I was like 16. You know, I just watched Pan's Labyrinth like 2 weeks ago. So, and I feel like
because there's some things I brought up to you where I was like, hey, have you seen this? You're like, no.
I'm like, I have no idea what that is, but I would love to know what it is.
The Nirvana, you know.
He's like, do you even know how Kurt Cobain died? I'm like, do you even know Kurt Cobain's fucking blood type, bro? Like
you get, but I was like that. I think I told you this story. It was this girl. She was wearing, I'm not a princess or whatever. Had Princess Leia on it. And I remember going into this shit fit. You know, just like, you motherfucker, she's a goddamn princess, and then she becomes a general. I went into her whole fucking, like, everything I know about, because Princess Leia is my jam.
Yeah.
And, like, it's so much so, like, when Carrie passed away, I had friends call me to make sure that I was okay.
Oh.
Yeah. And so, like, I went into this whole tirade. I'm like, don't be political. Don't try to be politically correct with your stupid fucking beanie. That's and I was working at Pizza Hut, and like my boss was like, the manager there was like, calm down. I was like, no.
and just for that girl to like wear the shirt anyway, she probably didn't go home and throw it away. She probably didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, she didn't give a fuck, and it's like that too, because I've come across people where, like. Here's a good example. The Force Awakens, before the new trilogy started.
Yeah.
They announced that Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, they're coming back into these iconic roles. And this girl comes up and she has a Star Wars New Hope shirt, so the first Star Wars movie. And I was like, oh man, did you hear Mark Hamill's coming back? And she goes, who? And I'm like, and I was like, I bit my tongue. I'm like, nothing. Like, you have him on your fucking shirt. Why do you not know? And now I've kind of just stepped back and like, you know what, just whatever.
That's me though. Like, I didn't know who Mark Hamill was. I watched all the Star Wars movies in one day, like one sitting, all 6, and then watched one of the new ones, fucking hated it, and just stopped watching all the new ones. But I watched all 6 of them in one day, and people were trying to talk to me about Star Wars because I had just discovered it. I was so excited. And I was like, yeah, I really love this one and this guy. And they're like, oh, what do you think about this actor? What do you think about this specific instance? And I'm like, I don't know anything about that. Like, let me know what the hell is going on because I'm interested. And I think trying to be a gatekeeper is just a losing battle when you could just bring more people in, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do now. And, you know, and like for me I'm a juggalo. Insane Clown Posse and whatnot.
No,
so
I don't.
Yeah,
See?
exactly.
I don't know shit.
Well, that's what I got tattooed on my arm, and it's a form of music that I enjoy. It's underground based. Like I listen to a lot of underground rap and this and that. And I remember I was so, like you said, the term's gatekeeper.
Yeah, gatekeeping.
So I was definitely like, oh, fuck no one, this is mine.
Yeah.
This is mine. Nobody else deserves this. This is mine. And honestly, I'm just like, no, it's not. You know, and now I just want to spread the love as best as I can, and just give it to people. Like, you know, you want to know why I listen to this music? Here's why.
Yeah.
You know, it's fucking therapy on so many levels. Why do I like the Green Lantern so much? Because he...
movie?
The character.
Okay, I was like, the movie sucks.
Funny thing about that movie is... I was so excited. I remember we went to the midnight premiere or whatever, and he's my Green Lantern is by far one of my favorite concepts of the core, the character, one of my favorite characters as a Green Lantern is Kyle Rayner.
Uh-huh.
And he's not a very popular one, as Hal Jordan was. That's who Ryan Reynolds played. And I remember going to the theater. I was like, finally, we got a Green Lantern movie. Finally. You know, because there's been like 20 Batmans and 20 Supermans. And, you know, and I was just like, give me Green Lantern. And I remember I was in line, had my Green Lantern shirt, I had my Green Lantern ring, had my little Green Lantern backpack with all my snacks in it, Green Lantern hat, and I'm like standing outside, and like my wife, girlfriend at the time, she's just like, calm down. I'm like, no, this is going to be the greatest movie ever. Ryan Reynolds is Hal Jordan. This is awesome. And I remember I sat there, and then the movie ended. I was like, huh. And I was like, and they're like, so? I was like, and I defended that movie for fucking years. And now I finally, like now I'm getting out of my shell of it, and I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, they really fucking missed the ball with that movie, you know?
In defense of bad movies, sometimes they're fucking good. Like, not every movie, in my opinion, has to be a masterpiece. Everybody hates the X-Men movies, like the old ones. As a kid, that shit was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I did not give a fuck about the plot. I was like, yeah, beat 'em up. I want to see some cool CGI shit. You know what I mean?
X-Men 2 is my jam. Like, that's one of my favorite X-Men movies.
Love all the X-Men movies.
Yeah. Did you watch Dark Phoenix?
No, the new one with the
that one is bad.
Is it?
Because I hate when studios interfere with a director on any level. That's why it's like I really wanted to see what this DC universe was going to be, because they've dropped Man of Steel and BVS. You've seen those, correct?
No.
No, you haven't seen those?
No.
Well, it was a big fumble on their part. So when you watch them, you'd be like, oh, okay, very, very dark tone to these superheroes, but they had a vision, you know, of going where they're going to go in that Justice League movie. And you heard about the Snyder Cut?
The Snyder Cut.
Yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League movie, because when he was filming Justice League, he had a bad tragedy happen in his family.
Oh, man.
So he stepped away from the project, and they brought another director in, and the movie kind of flopped to critics, and this and that suffered. So now they have this thing called Release the Snyder Cut, which is finally going to happen. He's finally going to do his vision of what that movie is going to be, and everyone's like, it's one of those things. Ooh, he's pooping on the other director. Blah blah blah. I'm like, no, he just wants to share his vision. Like he wants
it was his project.
Yeah, and he had to step away, and they brought another director on, and the director just completely was like, okay, well, we're gonna make it brighter, and we're gonna have weird jokes here and there, and we're gonna fluff it up for this release. And his like, from what we're hearing, is his cut is almost 6 hours long.
Wow.
So
attention span who?
For the 6 hours. It's what we were talking about before. And I was just like, and for me, I'm like, oh, give me that shit. Just let me bathe in that shit. Like, I just love seeing when directors talk. You have Disney Plus, right?
No, I don't fuck with Disney.
Oh yeah, you told me this, huh?
Yeah.
Like, you really don't watch animated movies, right? Like kids movies?
I don't necessarily hate kids movies, but I'm like of the minority, and I think now, that just doesn't enjoy them.
Yeah. Because I remember talking to you, I was like, oh, I saw this movie. Why? Because I have a kid. Like, I'm prompt to see these movies.
I know a lot of people just genuinely like them, and there's like maybe like a handful of Disney movies that I like, but I'm not a big fan of Disney.
Yeah. I remember we had this conversation, and for me, I remember I told you, I was like, I'm the type of guy, I cry at everything. I cry at fucking everything. I cry at movies all the goddamn time, and I took my kids to Toy Story 4, and at the end of the movie, she had to check my face. I was like, what are you doing? She goes, you cried? I was like, yeah. And she's like, punk? I'm like,
punk?
But movies, like, okay, so with movies, what are you just trying to like watch everything across the board, or is there a certain type of movies that you try to like go for, like more independent films? Because I know we talked about Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse, yeah, which is amazing. Watch The Lighthouse; it's fucking great. So I'm sort of doing both. I'm trying to watch movies that are mostly referenced in pop culture, so I know what the hell people are talking about.
Yeah.
Because I just haven't. My parents never showed me any of that crap. I was like raised by... I was the third set of kids that my grandparents raised, so they just were like, you did this, right? You went to the Grand Canyon. I'm like, nope. And they're like, oh, probably one of my other kids. But, so I'm trying to get into, like, everything that I missed. I was going to do all of the Avengers universe, and I started with the Iron Man, because it starts with Iron Man, right?
Yes, because there's 3 phases.
Yeah, and like, they're really, some things I'm like, this is really formulaic. I feel like I don't need to watch all of it. You know what I mean? Like, I watched Iron Man, and then I watched Iron Man 2, and I was like, this is really similar to Iron Man. And then I watched Iron Man 3, and I was like, okay, I get the point.
Yeah. You know, and that's interesting. And that's why I really wanted to bring you on, because I know we've talked about movies before, and a lot of stuff that you've not watched, or just a lot of things in pop culture that you're discovering. Like Pan's Labyrinth. What'd you think of?
Okay, I have an unpopular opinion about Pan's Labyrinth. Beautiful movie. Absolutely stunning. Like, gorgeous cinematography. I love that whole part. The plot does not make any fucking sense. Like, what the fuck is this plot? She, like, goes, like, okay, so they were spoiler alert. They're like, this fairy girl, right? And Pan, who is like a trickster god, is talking to her, and he's like, you have to do these tasks in order to go back to the fairy kingdom. And she's like, all right, cool. And then he's like having her do all this shit, and then towards the end, she like gets some fairies fucking eaten in a weird like room that I think is like a metaphor for abortion or some shit. It's fucking weird. It's a red room with this guy who eats babies, and she like eats a grape, and he eats her fairy friends, and the fucking Pan comes back, and he's like, you dumb bitch. He's like, fuck you did everything wrong. And then it turns out she didn't do anything wrong, and so he gives her another chance, and she has to like kidnap the baby and bring it to the Pan, and he's like, give me the baby, and she's like, no. And then her stepdad fucking shoots her in the face or some shit, and they're like, you passed the test. And I'm like, she didn't do anything. Like, what the fuck? What is the point? And then the fairies are back, and I'm like, you yelled at her for eating a fucking grape, and like those fairies had their heads ripped off. Was that fake? Like, did they pretend to do all that?
I have not seen that movie in a while, and I'm not a big fan of Del Toro. Guillermo del Toro's work, but I rather have your explanation of it, because it comes with a lot of like, wait, what the fuck?
It's so confusing. And there's a part, you know, there's like the whole war subplot, right? And so he like captures the girl, and then he has a doctor. There's a girl and a doctor who are working with the main bad guy, and then he finds out that they're like secret double agents, right? And he kills the doctor. And I'm like, why would you kill the doctor, you fucking idiot? He leaves the girl alive. She doesn't do shit this whole movie. She's just kind of hanging out, being a double agent. And he knows she's a double agent. And he doesn't do anything about it until the very end. But the doctor, while his wife is pregnant, and like it's a hard pregnancy, she might die, the baby might die, he kills the doctor? Like, why would you do that? It doesn't make sense.
That is fucking amazing.
I just think the plot was fucking dumb.
Yeah.
It was pretty.
Going back to pretty, what I was talking about, for Phoenix, Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's neither.
No, okay.
That's what sucks. That's what sucks, because, you know, like you said, the X-Men movies are great.
Yeah.
What's another movie you watched that recently that you like, pop culture wise?
Oh, one that I actually think lived up to the hype is I watched The Shining, like, last year.
Oh.
And I watched it in theaters, because Harkins does $2 Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And I watched The Shining in theaters, and I was like, this is amazing. This is the best movie in the whole world.
Have you seen Dr. Sleep?
I did see Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, I really did enjoy Dr. Sleep, like, especially staying with Kubert's version of The Shining, which Stephen King absolutely hated.
Yeah, I know! I read about that. King, like, was fucking pissed. And there's, like, a scene in The Shining where you see, like, I think it's a yellow bug tipped over. And it's kind of like a fuck you to Stephen King, because that's the original car in the book. And they changed it, and then they show the actual car, like, tipped over and, like, on fire.
Yeah, he famously hated that movie. They tried to redo it as a miniseries in the 90s, and it was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Because he was mad about the hedges coming ahead. Because have you read The Shining?
I started to.
It's
big.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for what it is. But when I first read The Shining, I was like, oh my god, why did Kubert do this? And then then my wife's like, hold on, you should check out the TV series, which actually follows the book pretty well. And all of a sudden I saw it, and I was like, you know, Kubert? Yeah, I like your Shining, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that, like, when you're translating something from text to the screen, I think you kind of have to change it, and if you want to get the same effect. And did you watch Preacher?
Of course.
did you read the comics?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how like the show is completely different. It's more or less inspired by the comics.
Well, for me, what I really liked about it was my wife downloaded and she read the entire series before the show started.
Yeah.
And I have a few Preacher comic books and graphic novels that I still have, but it wasn't my cup of tea. But she's like, the show's coming, and Dominic Cooper, who plays...
Love Dominic Cooper.
Yeah, and I was like, fucking Dominic Cooper? I'm in. You know, I was just like, I'm fucking in. And when we watched our first season, I was like, I don't remember any of this.
No, it's inspired by. And
then at the end, the finale, I was like, oh, this is where the story actually starts for the Preacher, because this is like a prequel to the actual comic book. Fucking brilliant!
It's amazing. I think it does it. The show does an amazing job of getting me to feel the same things I felt when I read the comics, without like just showing me everything in the comics. Because I already read the comics. I don't need to see it again.
And like with the show and taking those risks, that's why it got only 4 seasons. Right?
Fucking so mad about that, but like I also prefer when directors end things on purpose than like keep them going for no reason.
Well, you know, and there's another show I want to watch. It's Watchmen. It's on HBO, and I'm just like, but I gotta commit.
Yeah.
Like $7 or whatever to another streaming app, and I'm just like, and there for me, and I like Star Trek too, not to an extent that I love Star Wars, but I love Star Trek too. But they're like, I want to see Picard. I want to see season 2 of Discovery, but it's all on CBS Access, and I'm like, God damn it, I don't want to
pay for that.
I don't want to pay. They're like, well, you can get these shows. I'm like, and I was like, I just want to see Picard. So I usually wait until they put them on DVD or something, and I can come to the Bookmans here because I know someone's gonna trade it.
Yeah.
You know, because digital media is taking over, and nobody really gives a shit about Blu-rays and copies.
I have a VHS collection actually.
Hell yes.
Yes, it's awesome. I mean, the quality is bad, but I think there's an appeal to watching things on VHS because it's like, it's like, you know when you put a filter over a picture?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's like, ooh, the aesthetic.
Well, I have a friend that has one of those big box TVs.
Uh-huh.
And I remember, he still has it to this day. And I'm like, holy fuck! Like I went in, like was in his bedroom, big fucking box TV, and I was like, holy shit! I go, I haven't seen one of these in fucking forever. And he goes, yep, still going. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I go, we just lost our TV.
Oh no!
But we got a new one.
Oh wait, you lost it?
Well, then it died.
Oh okay.
I lost it. Yes. I woke up and I was like, where did I put the TV?
Where's this TV at?
And because I was out podcasting and the wife calls. She goes, "Hey, the TV just," and I was like, "Oh fuck!" And that TV's only like 3 years old, 4 years old. And here's my fucking homie. He's got this box TV that's like 20 plus years old, and it's still fucking running great. And I'm just like, ain't that some shit? Like, but TVs are inexpensive as is because we bought a 4K one, and for like $200.
Yeah.
You know, it's a 50-inch, and now I'm being introduced to 4K. So I've gone through the phases of VHS, DVDs, Blu-ray, now 4K, and this is the best. Me and my wife were like, what's the difference? You know, what's the fucking difference between Blu-ray and 4K? And she came to bed at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, why are you coming to bed so late? And she goes, so you know how we were bitching about 4K? I'm like, yeah. And she goes, I watch Avengers Endgame in 4K. Holy fuck, I committed 1 hour, but I actually stayed up for all 3 hours of that movie, and I was just like, was it that beautiful? And then she's like, yes. And I went and I watched it. I was like, oh my god.
I can't watch Avengers Endgame. I mean, I did watch it. It needs an epilepsy warning, first of all, but I could not watch it in 4K.
Oh my goodness. And like, there's certain things though that should not be in 4K.
Yeah.
So my friend said he bought. There's this movie called Face Off. It's with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. And he goes, you could see the wires when they're jumping around and the big shooting starts and this and that. Because, you know, somebody would have to go in there and legitimately digit out all that shit.
Stuff.
And they just left it in. It's 4K. And it's just like, oh, fuck. This, like, it's taking me out of the movie experience. And for me, that's kind of the thing about movies I don't like, is when you get taken out of the experience of it.
I don't know. I'm someone who always talks during a movie. I'm the worst. I'm so bad at taking people out of the experience. But in my defense, there are certain movies where I'm like, shut the fuck up and watch the movie. Like Hereditary. Did you see Hereditary? I watched that. Oh man, that hit hard.
Yeah. And, for me, I like to talk during movies. But if it's a movie I have not seen, I'll usually just shut the fuck up. Like, I watched this movie the other day with my wife. It was Midnight FM. And this movie's fucking crazy. It's about this serial killer that's addicted to this radio host personality. And he gets into her house, and it's her last show before she goes and starts doing TV and whatnot. And he's obsessed with her. And so he goes in, basically kills her sister. Her kids are still in the house, and he's like giving her orders and instructions of what songs to play on her final show, so it's perfect for the both of them. And this and that, and like he plays shit like, I want you to say what you said on their very first show when you first started hosting it. And she was like, that was like 5 years ago. So she's going fucking crazy trying to get. She can't remember. And she's going into archives and shit like that, and she's just trying so hard. And it's just one of those crazy, like, at the end, I was like, holy fuck, like, my butthole just, like, it just got so fucking intense, because I was just like, oh my god, like,
Do you ever have to, like, pause a movie and just walk in a circle and then watch the movie again? Because I've done that.
I've done that before, and the wife gets a kick out of me, because I usually, if I'm watching a movie by myself, like, oh, here's a good one. I really love animation, so I watched DC's Apocalypse War, and it's the finale of this universe that they were building in the animation world. Is the finale. Yeah. And I'm like in tears. I'm like laughing. I'm clapping, and I'm just there sitting by myself, and while the kid's over here playing, and I'm like, oh my god. She just looks at me. She goes, "Are you?" To an anime? I was like, you don't understand. So I get very emotionally like attached to things and TV shows, and I'm in that experience. And there's sometimes when I do pause, I'm like, all right, okay, it's okay. So you're gonna be okay. All right, there's an ending to this.
Yes. Did you finish? Did you ever finish Adventure Time or watch Adventure Time? I
watch here and there. My brother's more invested than I am, and he's one of those ones. He goes, this show's fucking long. Like another show he's telling me I need to watch is Steven Universe.
I started to watch Steven Universe, and I think it's got as much depth as the later seasons of Adventure Time. You have to watch to the later seasons, and then it gets really, like, it'll get you in that place of, like, crying and, like, oh my god. But you have to get, like, through all the other stuff first. But with Steven Universe, there's only, like, 2 seasons on Hulu, and then you gotta do some fucking voodoo magic to find the rest of them.
Dark web shit.
And I was like, I'm not gonna fucking do all that.
Well, speaking about that, like, when people suggest things to watch and stuff like that, a lot of people tell me I need to watch Game of Thrones, and they're like, why haven't you? I was like, one, I'm not really big into medieval stuff, and like wizards and all this and that. Wizards and fucking whatever, dragons. This is not my jam. But everyone's like, you need to watch Game of Thrones. Like, you claim to be the ultimate nerd, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up, okay? Like, I don't need to go watch Game of Thrones to fucking claim victory. And I'm like, me and my friend were talking about it. I'm like, if you really think about it, there's like 12 episodes per season, give or take. How many seasons are there? There's 8. That's a shit ton of fucking TV to digest before, just so I can get caught up and then bitch with somebody online about the finale that I keep hearing about, And I'm like, do I really want to commit my motherfucking time to that?
You don't. I watched up to season 5, and by season 5, I was done. Like, I thought it was shit at season 5. Even before that, though, I don't think it lived up to the hype, and you're probably gonna get, I don't know where this is going, but you're probably gonna get a bunch of people saying like, that bitch don't know what she's talking about. I didn't love it. I've seen better shows.
Yeah, and in like another show everyone tells me I need to watch is Breaking Bad. And my brother ruined it for me and says, oh, the main character dies, spoiler, and I'm like, damn it, well, why, if I know that's fucking coming, why am I gonna dedicate my motherfucking self all the way to the end and know that he's gonna, fuck it, I ain't gonna watch the show.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like Walking Dead. I know Walking Dead lost its flavor, but I'm just not into zombies. I just don't, the zombie genre has never really been something that I cared about, because everybody's makes zombie movies and they're all usually the same thing. Like, no, but these guys are the Walking Dead. I know. I read the comic book series. I get it.
Yeah, that's my introduction was like the comics and then the game, So when I saw the series, I was like, this is good, but...
Yeah. So, TV series, I have to be really, like, there was a point in my life, and this was before my kid came. I had this little list in my wallet of, it was Monday through Friday, and had little pictures of all my shows that I was watching.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how, like, these were TVs like Arrow, Flash, and whatnot. I was committed to these shows, and I had a whole schedule for them printed out, so I know what days was which, and this and that. I wouldn't know what to record or whatnot on my DVR. And then my kid came. And then I just completely now I don't know what the fuck's going on. They're like on season 10, 12, 15 or whatever now.
You're over here watching Miss Spider's Sunny Patch.
And, you know, and it's just one of those things like people are like, oh, you should catch up. I'm like, man, Flash is like 4 or 5 seasons, and they're like 20 plus episodes each. I'm like, Jesus, that's a lot. You know what? Well, during that time of watching those shows, I could be creating something for myself and for C Plus Studios. So, you know, I'd rather do this. You know, I'll go commit 4 or 5 hours and work on this secret project. You know, with my homies and whatnot. But then then I'll just sit there all night editing it together and giggling to myself because we created something. That's fucking dope to us. So, you know, it's a lot to commit to TV shows that have multiple seasons.
Yeah.
You know, like if someone's like, oh, well, you should catch up on Star Trek Discovery because it's only 2 seasons deep. I'm like, yeah, but then I have to commit like $8 to buy the fucking app that it's on.
I will not buy more streaming services. I'm done. I'm not fucking getting any more. If it's on a different service, I'm not watching it. But I also think that's a really healthy attitude to have towards consuming media, because I know people who are just like super obsessed, like it completely takes over their whole lives, and to the point where they don't even see their friends.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, listen, you gotta stop. You know, like it's not that serious.
Yeah, and for me, my consuming of media is comic books. Always has been. So every Wednesday is new comic book day, and during this pandemic, they stopped. DC and Marvel just is like, okay, well, they're like, no more comic books, this and that, and I'm like, motherfucker! And I'm like, no! I'm like, the one thing I look forward to, because I'm like, it's Wednesday, you know, and my routine is when I was working at NAU was like, oh, it's Wednesday, cool. So as soon as I get off, I'll go to the comic book shop, I'll go home, and I'll read my fucking comics, and then COVID-19 happened, and they're like, no new comics, and I can't even go into the comic book shop now to talk with my friend Corey over there, who owns the shop, and you know, just talk about what's going on.
Over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Cab Comics, and it's all curbside pickup now. So like, when I see him, he has to open the door, he has his mask on, and you know, he's like, there you go. And I'm like, I miss you. He goes, I miss you too. And I was like, fuck, I just want to stand here and talk nerd shit, because I'm one of those people that can get lost in conversation. And I think that's why I love the social event so much, because this is what it is. It's just a conversation. And I remember there's this comic book shop called Drawn to Comics. It's in Glendale. And we went down there to go look at the downtown area and whatnot, but I saw this comic book shop. I was like, oh, fucking course I'm going to walk in there. And I went in there, and I met the owner. I can't remember his name right now, but I think I was in there for 5 hours.
Wow.
While the wifey and kid and her parents were off, like,
doing
doing
whatever.
And they came back to like, are you done? I was like, what do you mean? She goes, we've been here for 5 hours. I was like, the fuck? And we looked at each other. I'm like, oh shit, man. I go, I'm sorry. He goes, no, this was great. We had a great conversation. I'm like, I know. And this is before I even did podcasting. And now that I think about it, I'm like, man, if I was doing the podcasting then, I could have recorded that 5-hour conversation.
Just had content.
It just had fucking content for days, because we talked about everything comic book wise. And I'm like, what'd you think of this? Oh, no, what'd you think of, oh, you know. And so now comic books are finally coming back out. And one of my favorite series right now is Shazam. They've written the Jeff Johns series, and it finally came out. I've been waiting for this fucking book, and I'm just like I was at the comic book shop first thing in the morning. Since I was right there at 11. I was just like, give me my shit, you know. And I was just like, oh, it's like a drug, you know.
Oh my goodness. See, for me, comic books are like for you TV series. I feel like there's just so much.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even know where to begin with comics.
Well, for me, I did commit to another service, but it's not a streaming service. It's Marvel Unlimited. And because I have over 17, 18 long boxes of comic books.
Goodness.
And a shit ton of graphic novels. And I've been one of those people who was like, I will never do digital. Digital is the devil. Digital, I have to physically have the comic book in my hand. And during this pandemic, when everything stopped, I was like, all right. And I had the DC Universe app as well, and they do digital comics. And I was just like, And I finally was like, started going through them because I didn't want to dig out the box. I was that fucking lazy. Even though the box is right there, I was like, I don't want to dig in the box. So I went through and I read. I was like, okay. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. Oh. Then I was just like, I wonder how this Marvel app is. And I downloaded the Marvel app, and I'm like, oh, it's all at my fingertips, And I banged through 33 issues of the Avengers.
Wow.
So I'm officially caught up now to the Avengers now. I banged out 19 issues of fucking Tony Stark's Iron Man series. Mm-hmm. Now I completely know what's going on because I got behind a little bit here and there, so I was taking this time to get caught up. But I went through and I was just fucking pounding through this Iron Man series.
Yeah.
And it only goes up to 18, and issue 19 is not on the service yet. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I can wait, right? I can wait. I can be patient enough for a month, to get that final issue. And all of a sudden, like, there's a junkie in me, and I'm just like, can I wait? I was like, no, fuck it. I'll spend the $3.99 on that one issue. Yeah. And I went, and then they're like, no, you have to download another app to buy that issue. Oh my goodness. And this and that. I was like, well, fine, fuck it. I will get that. So wow. I bought my first digital comic book ever for $1.99 just so I can get the finale of the story.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do digital unless proven otherwise. So, like, if I had, like, a huge movie collection, I think everybody does, that they just, like, sits there, and it's movies that you may even like, but you haven't seen in years. So I got rid of all of them, and I started this thing where if I want to watch a movie, I rent it, and then if I love it and I know I'm going to keep watching it, then I'll go buy a physical copy. But I only have, like, 5 physical movies that I watch repeatedly. Everything else, I'm like, I rent it once, and then I'm like, that was a good experience. But
What's your 5 movies?
Watch it again. You're gonna laugh.
I am. I won't.
And keep in mind, I said like 10 minutes ago how I don't like kids movies. 2 of the 5 are kids movies.
Oh wait, can I guess one of them?
Yes.
Shrek.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Actually, Shrek 2, because I think Shrek 2 is better.
Yeah, Shrek 2 is better.
And honestly, I don't even know if it's necessarily a kids movie, because like some of the jokes in there are pretty fucking complex. Okay, but it's Shrek, Coraline, and then I thought I had Ponyo,
my daughter loves
but
Coraline.
I don't have Ponyo, so I gotta get that because I fucking love that movie. And then I think the other 2 are like I have The Lighthouse, and then I have
You really like The Lighthouse that much to own the physical copy?
Really good. And then
I wanted to see what was in that fucking room.
Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, well, I don't know.
You remember my motivation to watch that movie, right?
No, was it just because I kept fucking annoying you about it?
No, it was, I heard that Batman fucked a mermaid.
Oh,
and you saw a mermaid vagina, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it's really
that was my
weird.
that was my whole motivation. Like I knew about the movie, I heard about the movie, and then like I heard more about the movie. Someone's like, "Yeah, Batman fucks a mermaid," and you see a mermaid vagina, and my pervert mind was like, "A mermaid vagina."
You're like, "What does that look
How
like?"
the fuck does that look like? So I immediately went to the Red Box and I found it. I was like, well, I'm watching this, and she's like, my wife was like, you really want to see that mermaid vagina?
Yeah.
Like, it's a mermaid vagina. I only get one shot at this.
Yeah. Who else is gonna make a mermaid vagina?
So, and I was like, plus Robert Pattinson's in it, and he's fucking great, and William Dafoe's in it.
I love William Dafoe in this. It's such.
And it's one of those movies too that I think you have to be really committed to sit there and watch.
Yeah.
Because you're watching these two just descend into fucking madness. Oh, yeah. Then at the end, you're like, what the fuck did I just go through?
Yeah. I mean, I'm also, like, I'm a photographer, and I'm really into, like, artsy shit.
Well, do you know you should watch? Because he's one of my favorite directors, Christopher Nolan. There's a movie he did in film school. It's called The Following.
Okay, I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, it's black and white. And I'm not going to tell you the movie because he's really big about twists. Uh-huh. And his new movie's coming out called Tenet, and I cannot fucking wait because anything that you slap Christopher Nolan's name on, I'm like, I'm fucking there. So yeah, the movie's called Following, and if you watch that, you should text me because at the end you're like, wait, whoa, what
just happened?
What the fuck just happened to me?
I love those kinds of movies, and I'm super bummed because I still have to watch Fight Club. And I can't experience it the way everybody else experienced it.
I don't like that movie.
No?
No.
Wow.
And I get a lot of shit from people like, you love movies and this. I was like, yeah, I don't have to like them all. Like,
That's true.
And like, I understand it's a cult classic for and the twist and whatnot that happens. I won't tell you. Yeah.
I know what the twist. I know it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, meh. And I saw it. I was like, oh, that was cool. And they're like, no, blah blah, and I'm in Gatekeeper, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't like cinema. How can you call yourself a movie fan?
I hate that.
And I'm like, I just don't like the fucking movie. Like, can I not like the fucking movie?
Exactly. There are tons of movies that I've seen that are like everybody's favorites, and I'm like, I'm just not that into it. Hugely unpopular opinion. I like the Star Wars prequels more than I like the original trilogy.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, but I watched the prequels
almost like
first.
part of my nerd part because I'm Star Wars is my bread and butter.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I had this big argument with my friend. I actually recorded it too. It's about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. That's the second one in the prequel trilogy. Sequel trilogy, and I hate that movie so goddamn much. And I hate the director so much.
Is that part of the new ones, right?
Yeah. And the director's Ryan Johnson, and I will not.
So.
I will not see Ryan Johnson movies ever anymore. Like, that's how bad I hated
No,
that.
he's really did a shit job, and I honestly was pissed on behalf of the first director who set all of this up, and then this asshole comes in and just ruins it, and it's like, where do you even fucking go from there,
Yeah, but then I got my Rise of Skywalker, and you talk about people in fandom, that movie ruined my life for a good year and a half to where I'm not allowed to talk about it anymore in the house.
Oh my
I'm
God,
not. I love when I tell people this because they're like, really? I was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. Like, I legitimately like it. I let that movie like haunt me for a year and a half, and all the arguments I've had, all the outbursts, all this and that, and then I look back at it, I'm like, why, Kyle? Why'd you waste a year and a half to this? Now this movie's banned from being talked about. Just don't watch it.
Yeah.
When I do my Star Wars rewatch, I just skip right over that movie, and I have a great argument with my friend Miles, and every Star Wars movie I've seen multiple times, except for that one. I've only seen it
The one.
2.5
Oh,
times.
2.5.
2.5. The first time I went to the theater, we watched it, and I had that Star Wars high at the end. I was like, oh, okay. Then it slowly, the story, I was like, and then my wife was like, so then I took her, and then that's when I just completely was like, fuck this. And no, I take it back 3.5 times because then I bought it on Blu-ray. It's in my collection. And, and I was like, all right. And I started it, and I was like, and I turned it off. And then my friend was like, hey, we should do a podcast about it. I think this would be great because I love that movie. I'm like, fuck you. And so I went and I watched the whole thing, just digging my nails in my skin. I was like, all right, fine. And we had this great hour-and-a-half conversation. It's on the podcast feed. Just check it out. But it's just fucking me being like, no, fuck you. No, fuck you. And it was a lot of fuck yous to each other over a goddamn movie. God bless America.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, though. I think with some things, especially if it means a lot to you and you grew up with it, and like you said, being bullied for it and still loving it, and it disappoints you that badly, it does fucking suck. And I felt that when I didn't even have that experience, but when I watched Rick and Morty, I watched the first 2 seasons, and then season 3 came out, and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is trash. And I was so upset about it. And then my boyfriend, actually, ironically, the Gatekeeper, had to be like, we just won't watch the rest of it. And I was like,
Gatekeeper.
Oh yeah, that's a good fucking idea. I just won't watch it and stop talking about it.
Rick and Morty I heard a lot about. I have not seen Rick and Morty. But one of those things, too, I told somebody that. They're like, oh, how can you claim to be a nerd if you haven't watched Rick and Morty? I'm like, the fuck? Now I don't even want to watch this show.
Yeah, well, the fans make it an awful thing to get into. Even when I watched it, I didn't tell people I watched it because, the people who I knew who introduced it to me were just such assholes about it. Oh, yeah. and I get this, too. I'm really lucky where every time I get into something, it's, right at the end of the hiatus. So they're like, I had to wait 4 years for the next season, and you have to wait 2 months. And I'm like, I don't care.
everything that's at NAU, because you're in that population.
I am.
Does that happen a lot? Does like because I know a lot of people claim to be such fanatics, and they're barely discovering it now. With the groups that you hang out in, is there a lot of like arguments like that, like
Listen,
like snotty?
I wish I could tell you, but I don't have friends. Like, the groups are people from work, and then they all moved, so I don't hang out with anybody. But in high school, that happened all the time, like just 24/7. It was like liking things was a constant competition to the point where I didn't want to participate. It's actually why I stopped watching like Doctor Who. I stopped watching, all those fandoms that were really popular back in 2012, 2014. I stopped watching all of it because it was just like every time I would bring it up, somebody had to like fight me about it. Like they were more of a fan than I was.
Sadly, I was one of those guys too. Like I remember being in the movie line, because I used to wait for movies to be released at midnight.
Wow.
I would get there at 2 a.m. in the morning, or 3 a.m. in the morning to wait for this goddamn movie to come out. And I would be in line, and I would hear somebody trying to talk about, they'll be like, oh, here's an example. Let's just say an X-Men movie.
Yeah.
Oh, man, they got Wolverine so right, and they blah, 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 blah. Then I would be like, excuse me, no. Wolverine's a little bit shorter. He's not as tall as you, and I'll go into this whole thing, and then I look back at it, I'm like, good times.
Yeah, those people probably went home and were like, this is fucking crazy.
This fucking asshole. Out of nowhere, we're talking, he just jumps in and says, excuse me.
Like the male nerd version of a Karen.
Yeah, yes. I was the male nerd version of Karen in those days, and I still am to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like Aquaman, that movie Aquaman, I hate that movie. And
really?
but
like
I love
better.
that character. I love that character to death, and
It's hard. It gotta be hard loving Aquaman because that's like the most made fun of. Superhero.
That's why it makes me so mad, because I'm just like, this character's so fucking badass. Like, if you actually picked up a goddamn fucking comic book and actually read an Aquaman series, this motherfucker's bad fucking ass. Like, he'll whoop anyone's ass.
Yeah.
But then you get the constant jokes like, oh, he's water and this and that and this and that. I'm just like, you just never picked up the book. Like,
yeah, that's true. I never have. I actually love the version of Aquaman that everybody has in their minds, which is just like he talks to fish. I think that is amazing. Personally, I don't want to know how cool he is. I love just the idea of the superhero who's just like, what's up, fish?
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
Well,
and he's like fighting underwater crime.
I rewatched there's this animation called Justice League Throne of Atlantis, and it's sort of like it's an origin story for Aquaman in the animated universe.
Yeah.
And there's this one scene I love so fucking much. He's at this bar, Arthur Curry. He's drunk as shit. And he's like sitting there talking. Then you realize he's talking to a lobster in this tank. And they're like having a conversation. He's just like, Then like the bartender grabs it, so he's gonna boil that lobster. And he's like, hey, we're having a conversation here. That's my friend. The bartender's just like, the fuck? He grabs the lobster out of his head. He goes, I'll save you. And he throws the bartender across the fucking thing. Yeah, then he gets in fights with these other people, and it's just great because he's sitting there. He's like, hey,
that's my friend.
That's my homie. God damn it. But the lobster lived. He set him free.
Wonderful. I used to talk to lobster tanks back when Walmart sold lobster, but I did not have that power. I just did that. Just for fun.
You ever see my brother showed me these, but they're already frozen, made to eat lobsters that you can boil yourself. I was just like, that is fucking crazy. Like, I don't think they sell them anymore, but like one day I went over, I was like, wait, oh, it smells great here. What are you making? He goes, lobster. I'm like, how the hell did you when did you become a millionaire and afford lobster?
Yeah.
You know? He's like, no, they're like $5 at Walmart. They come in these packs and you just boil them yourself.
Yeah, I'm allergic to lobster.
Really?
Yeah, I found out the hard way. Alone.
Oh, yeah. Alone?
Alone in my apartment on like a Tuesday night. Nobody was coming home for hours, and I like, I ordered something from Red Lobster, and they gave me lobster instead of shrimp, and I was like, oh, I'll try it. Like, it's honestly the more expensive version, so I'm not mad.
Yeah.
And then, like, my throat started tingling.
Oh, my goodness.
And I was having trouble breathing, and I was like, this is how I die.
This is it. This is like...
Just fucking dead on the floor from eating lobster Alfredo. And I was cool with it. I was like,
You're like,
whatever.
you know what? Here I come.
Yep, literally. Yeah, it was good. It was delicious. But I'm probably still going to eat it, to be honest.
I'm allergic to bananas.
Bananas?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I learned the hard way too. And both big reactions happened at an AU.
Oh, no. I'm allergic to apples, but I didn't know. I just thought, like I would eat an apple and then my stomach would cramp really painfully and I'd get like a really bad migraine, and I just thought that was part of the experience. Like, I loved apples, so I just kept eating them because they tasted so good, and I was like, I'm gonna feel so shitty after this. I'd have to take so many medicines.
My mom recently just found out she's allergic to watermelon.
Oh.
Yeah, because she loves melon, like watermelon. She loves watermelon. She loves cantaloupe and all that, all the melons. And like one day she goes, yeah, she goes, I started realizing my stomach hurts, and I got like my throat, this and that. And I go, well, what were you eating that day? And she was like, well, I had a big thick bowl of watermelon. Then she was like, it can't be that. And then a couple more times with the watermelon, and she's like, yeah, it's the watermelon. It's the watermelon. She goes, this sucks. And I'm like, fuck yeah, it does, because I know you love watermelon.
Yeah.
I go, oh, I'll eat it for you. I love fucking watermelon.
Watermelon's delicious.
Especially when it's like big and juicy.
Oh, yeah.
And, oh my goodness. Well, let's check the time here real quick. I'm having fun.
I am too.
All right, let me just check the time.
This is just what we used to do at work, but now we're not getting yelled at for it.
All right, well, it's been an hour.
Yes.
Yes. So we can wrap it up here. I would ask you if you have anything to plug when I usually put people on, but...
No, I'm boring.
You want people to be on your Facebook? And
no,
we can give your number out there. You know.
Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me.
Nobody contacts me whatsoever. If you see me in the streets, turn the other way.
or throw lobster at her if you want to make her your mortal enemy.
Exactly. Don't talk to me.
Just don't talk to me.
I only have Instagram, and I just made that private like yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Because I don't want anybody to talk to me.
Then why vacant?
Because I'm a photographer.
But it's private, so these pictures no one will see.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know what my deal is, dude.
That is great. That is
not
awesome.
Social.
Well, that's why I thought bringing you on would be awesome, and it is proven that.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Go check out shudder.com/podcast. Get 30 free days on us when you use the special promo code CPLUS. And after that, it's only $5 a month with the best horror suspense thriller app out there. I personally use it. Fridays, Joe Bob's Drive-In coming up. So just go check out shudder.com/podcast, special promo code C+. And as Big Daddy says, in the fucking box. Make sure you put the in the fucking box. So there you go. Go to our store, TeePublic store. Get yourself some fresh merch. We actually have masks now that has our logo on it.
I
So
want merch.
Yeah, you're gonna get merch. But yeah, so go get all that stuff. Also, if you want any donations or whatnot, you can do it to our PayPal account. It's in the description below. We're gonna start bringing back the song of the week because we want to get more artists. Maybe we can have your boyfriend's song.
Yeah, he wouldn't like that, but yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, the
Embarrass
Gatekeeper.
the shit out of him.
Is that his rock name?
Yeah,
yes.
no, it's not. But that's a better name than his band name.
What's his band's name?
Dead Dudes Get Wild.
Dead Dudes Get Wild. Yeah, Gatekeeper's better.
It's got a lame band name. He made it in high school. It's not good.
All right, is there anything else?
No.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, y'all. I'm KB6. Oh, wait. This is what we have to do.
What?
So, whenever we close the show out, we say, when in doubt, fuck your couch. So we're gonna,
Dude, oh my god. Okay, nobody on the podcast can see this, but I have a photo on
Of
my
a couch being
Instagram
fucked?
that is private that literally says fuck a couch. So, look!
fuck a couch.
Yep.
With a fuck yo couch.
Fuck your couch.
Okay, so you ready?
Wait, no, what am I doing?
So when I say when in doubt, then we say fuck yo couch.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, y'all. When in doubt,
Fuck
fuck
yo
yo
couch.
couch.